I'm not
Yeah, no problem.
very well over Discord.
No problem. Okay, so I'll download the game. That was the longest 4 megabyte download ever.
I mean, better than uploading earlier today.
Yikes, yeah, that was a mess. Anyway, it's all good. Okay, so use WSD to move around and shoot. Mouse to shoot. If mouse is not working, use arrow keys to aim. Interesting. Okay. So when you reach the edge of a room, select a room from the bottom hotbar using the mouse or the corresponding number key. Okay, each placed room will have a 1 or more dice to collect and some enemies to fight. Collecting dice will add new rooms to your hotbar. Overflowing will instead replace a random room. Okay. Touching an enemy will cause you to lose a room, or if you lose, you don't have any rooms left. Oh, you lose if you don't have any rooms left. Got it. Locate the exit room along with a random edge of the map to win. It's possible to get stuck in soft lock, so don't be afraid to restart. Okay, good to know. So let's get the game open here. What was this made with?
So, let's see. I made it using basically a custom game engine that I've used for a bunch of other projects.
Mm-hmm.
I call it Skirmion. It's sort of adapted from a previous, from a few previous game jams, and edited, adjusted over time. Is the main thing.
How do I?
Oh, is mouse not working properly?
Okay, that's fine. I can aim and shoot with the.
Yeah, arrow keys. If mouse doesn't work, it just won't even aim. So you need to use arrow keys to aim.
Okay. Here we go. Oh.
Okay, so the thing with placing the rooms is that you have to pay attention to what sides the room are available on.
Oh, okay, I see that now. I understand how that works. Okay. So yeah, I should go down to the bottom and place a 2. Wait. What? Oh! Okay. I did that like bad brain thing where I saw the number 2 and clicked a 2, but what I should have been clicking is a 1, 2, 3, 4. So, whoops. Anyway, I realized I've probably soft locked myself. So
okay, well, if you grab the 5 or the 1, you'll get more dice to play with. Yeah, it's a weird game to start out with because the mechanics are just so unique. But it's pretty simple once you understand things.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm really annoyed at the mouse glitch, though.
You know, is it like some sort of like relative positioning thing?
Yeah, it's a relative mouse thing. It only happens in Windows. It's So I'm using a game engine based off of SFML library, which is itself based off of like OpenGL and stuff.
Huh.
I don't know what's happening with the mouse. It just on Windows, it just always points to the upper corner of the screen, and I realized that issue way too late to fix it. So it was like in the last hour of the jam, and I just decided that adding arrow keys for aiming was a lot easier than trying to debug that.
Yeah, I mean, so are you actually like developing on Linux?
Yeah. I actually tried to participate in Jam 2020 Jam, but didn't have a Windows build at all soon enough. So, just so you know, you can aim diagonally.
Yes,
You pressed. Okay.
It is like I guess it's not that I've never aimed with arrow keys before, but it is like kind of an extra loop for my brain. So like just pressing one arrow key at a time.
Yeah, it's inconvenient, but better than not being able to aim at all. So
yeah. Well, this is interesting. So Bapoy mentions that after restarting the game, the mouse is working after all.
Huh.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where... I mean, I'm doing lots of weird math to get the mouse in the right place. I don't know where in the process that's going wrong.
Oh, also, I realize I don't think I have... I think I'm just doomed. Like, I can only build one more room here.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So, but maybe if I... So, what's the actual button to restart?
There isn't one.
Okay, so it's
That's
just
the other
closing and
thing.
reopening.
I've got enough stuff loaded and randomized at the beginning that that's a feature I should work on in the future, but not one I have ready just yet.
Yeah, it's
lots
interesting.
of that going around because.
Okay, well, no worries. Let's see if I can create some like more pathways for myself and not get locked off like I did that first time. So that's a 4. I gotta say, it is definitely like, you know, when you're supposed to like read the color of a word and not say the word. Like I'm having a similar problem to that as with seeing a number on the die and having to count 1, 2, 3. So that slot.
Yeah, that's a thing I got in my mind, and my fix for it was making it so you could use your mouse if you needed to, and then I found out the mouse doesn't work on Windows. So, yeah, problem I had a fix for, and then the fix became.
I think I see the oh, I placed entirely the wrong one there. Whoops, but maybe I can still get to it if I play carefully.
Yeah.
Let's put a 3 here. Because I can come at it from underneath if I get a piece... Not that one. Okay. So... Yeah, you do have to, like, play carefully so as not to soft lock yourself.
Yeah, it's just enough of a mental trickery you need to get used to, but it turned out to be a really interesting set of mechanics, so I'm happy about that part.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind the game?
So I said that I'm using a pre-existing game engine that I've been playing with for a while. It's very much optimized for top-down tile map-based kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's generally the kind of game that I default to. Still a quite large category, but that's what I've been defaulting to for a while. So I was thinking dice, and I also tend to like making roguelike kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So with those preferences in mind, I don't know where I got the real idea, but I think I did get the idea of placing down tiles, and then I just started like placing down rooms and stuff, and I started implementing it and figured out that, and I started designing the rooms just from the top, and then realized that designing the rooms based off of the different faces of the die and giving them the different number of sides and stuff was an interesting enough way to organize things. So you might use that 6. That could get you...
Yeah, I can use the 6. I could also drop this 1 in the corner here. Okay.
Or the 5, either one.
Yeah, I'm just slowly building my way over with 4s, it seems.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that was so important that I counted that out and didn't just like drop the wrong one at the end there.
Yeah.
So, is there a die face that connects horizontally?
So 6s, so each die number has 4 different variations.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not all of the variations are visible, but yeah, 6s can be vertical or horizontal.
Got it.
I think 4s basically have no real differences between them. I think I think they position the loot slightly differently each one, but
Okay,
effectively.
So the 3s are the T intersections. The 2s are the corners.
Ones and ones have a guaranteed 1 dice, but nothing else.
Okay.
Maybe I should have adjusted that, but for the first 4, it seemed easy to make the number of doors match up with the number. And then 5s will generally get you the best loot. Usually,
Okay.
5s have 2 guaranteed dice, and 6s have 2 guaranteed dice as well.
So I realize it's also like probably a good idea to keep some dice on the field so you don't overflow your like container.
I mean, you can you have a lot of room before you reach that point.
Yes.
And you can sort of just avoid them once you're getting high on them. So I don't know. That's a possible strategy.
It just feels like, oh, there. See, so now that I know where the exit is, I can start building towards it.
Yeah. So the exit just appears along one edge, and sometimes you go in the right direction, and sometimes it's in the bottom left corner instead.
Yeah. I guess I got. Oh, actually, I just this was in contrast to my first game. This went insanely quickly. Like, as long as I don't die here.
Yeah, it does have that level of either it's really quick and easy, or it can be tedious.
No, but it is a really cool
concept.
But
thankfully, once you slightly know what you're doing, it's pretty easy to avoid soft blocks.
Yeah, like I didn't understand it at first, but I like now that I've got my head around it. It would be neat if there were a way to, like, if you accidentally place a tile where you didn't need to, if you could then spend another die slot to overwrite what was there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Maybe something to do with ones. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good thought. I was also thinking having some rare stronger enemies would make things a lot more interesting. And a few other ideas like configurable area sizes, so you could go up in difficulty over time.
Yeah, so do you actually have any plans to continue development of the game?
I think there's a good chance. I'll probably go back and fiddle around with it some more. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I kind of tend to do very technical based projects, so yeah, I admit it does have a lot of room for polish and improvement.
Well, how much time did you have to spend on the project in the first place?
Not quite the whole time. That too. I had a few events that family members were excited about that I didn't really feel like it was worth skipping.
Yeah, no, you got to prioritize. Like life has to come first.
Yeah, and if it weren't for like all the Windows issues, I think this is in a state that I felt decently happy with in terms of a game jam. I was, before I noticed the Windows issue, I was trying to go for some like sound effects and stuff, but yeah, that's the other thing. Sound effects would be nice. Some die rolling.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely like a lot of potential with this idea. Like you can absolutely, even if you were to like find like some interesting fixed seeds, like something that you think like, oh, this was a interesting and difficult like combination that you had to like really puzzle through. I am also like incredibly lost on this particular room. I haven't found the exits.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's up here.
Usually, as far as I've experienced, it's a good idea to aim towards some corners and figure it out.
Also, if the like aiming with mouse is persistent, I know some games like I think Binding of Isaac has it so that you can like clicking or holding in a direction shoots in that direction.
So like once you move in a direction, or you just
like keep using the arrow keys to shoot. It's just like if I hold down up, then I shoot up.
Yeah, that would probably be a better way to go about it.
But again, it's all a matter of what you have time for.
I'm remembering mentally deciding against that, and it would have been very easy to do. I don't remember why I decided against that. Yeah, that probably would have been better.
Well, again, it's just a matter of like, it's not even something that I necessarily am used to. I just know it's a thing that Isaac does. Like I haven't played Binding of Isaac. I just know people have mentioned it's like a sort of standard thing. Finally found the exit on this one. So I went from like having let's call it a moderately difficult one to a insanely difficult ending one here. But yeah, if anybody has any questions or feedback, then please make sure to mention it in the chat now. Otherwise, I would ask about like a clever hack or shortcut, but those are usually like, I don't know, like, so what did you say the engine was called? Like it's not one that I've heard of before.
Yeah, I can put in a link. It's continually in development. Like basically whenever I do a game jam, I add a bunch more features and clean up some old stuff. Is how it normally goes. I'm using it for one or two larger projects. I'll just post the link. But yeah, it's pretty much hand designed and optimized for dungeon crawler kind of 2D tile map stuff. Yeah, it was a few years ago. A bunch of friends have made ourselves a sort of Legend of Zelda style short dungeon crawler, and then I took the core of that, which I went way overboard of, and made it into its own game engine. And then I kept on using it for game jams and cleaning it up, and now it's really its own thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I don't know why I didn't... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's got lots of, tile map features. My previous game jam, I made a dynamic lighting engine. That's all I did for the game jam. I didn't really fit the theme at all. I just made my own lighting engine. But that's in there, and then it's got all the collision detection and node tree structure so that things can follow other things, and built-in pausing of things. Yeah, lots of cool features.
Nice. That is super cool. Like, so what do you find, like, are you most interested in continuing to, like, build out this, like, being your own engine, or do you ever see yourself moving to something like Unreal that uses C++?
I've used other engines. I've used Unity in the past, and for a while for one project I was using Godot for a while. My largest project is a over-engineered solitaire game that I've been working on and off for like 5 years or something. Haven't been very active recently. But I originally based off of Godot and C++, and that connection was functional, but my C++ code became complex enough that the separation made it really hard to debug. So since then, with that, I realized that was after I'd already had the Skirmion engine around. So even though it wasn't quite what Skirmion was built for, I just picked up the engine and shoved it in. And I was able to completely replace Godot with Skirmion in like a week. And it was way faster and easier than ever before. So
wow.
I've just kind of been sticking with it because of my style is so technical, and because I'm more interested in really complex technical stuff than in fancy art and game design, I guess.
Yeah, but I do think it's funny. Like this is just the other end of, like, earlier we had somebody on who was advocating for Unreal's use of blueprints, and I think that's totally a valid approach, is like building a game entirely with visual scripting. To me, visual scripting is like spaghetti mess, but I would say I'm a little bit more on the design side of things. So I prefer to work in an engine like GameMaker, which can happily swap between drag and drop tiles, which I'll be honest, I never use them, but I got my start with using them. And now I'm more comfortable in like something like Unity that has like C#, and I still code in GameMaker. Yeah,
I'm actually a professional software engineer at this point. So yeah, I enjoy the coding process a lot, significantly, and the other advantage of this game design is that art is secondary, and it's designed to, and this whole thing is designed so that so that the game can manage well. Art is still secondary. What?
No, but I know what you mean.
As I said, tile maps are the core of how this particular engine works. So it's very easy for me to work off of very simple tile maps and pixel art. I mean, I guess in other projects I've gone more advanced in the art. But yeah, I prefer just having fun with the technical side of things. And this whole engine setup is designed to make it really easy to throw together a single tile map and then build really complex mechanics around a few tile maps.
Yeah. I don't know if this really speaks to your intention here, but like, I can actually envision a version of this game where there's no combat. Like, it is almost more interesting to me as a puzzle of just like navigating around, finding die, and then finding a good place to build out a path for yourself. I think that could just be the game. I don't know if it actually even needs the combat.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's where it was for a while. I felt that it needed something, a slightly more level of challenge, I guess. Something other than maybe if I had different kinds of dice that you would collect or something.
One thing I could imagine doing...
I wanted there to be some kind of risk for the larger reward tiles.
Right.
Like the 5 and the 6 will give you more rewards, but you will have to combat a lot more enemies. And if I had more interesting enemies, maybe that could also balance things out the other way. Yeah, I'd definitely consider that.
Yeah, like it's one other thing that I could imagine doing is having spots on the grid that aren't the end, but you get some bonus by navigating there, like a sort of Scrabble bonus, like double word score or something like that.
Yeah. That would be a pretty good way to go about it, I think.
It would be a way to lean into the puzzle aspect of the game without, like, by like keeping some level of complexity. Maybe not exactly the level of complexity that you're aiming for.
Yeah. I think that could work. I just need to figure out what the different. Yeah, it would need to have some different levels of rewards, which. Is definitely possible, but would need some more thought.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I did want to just end off on saying that, in the way that you've described to me this, like, the fact that you're like a software developer and that you love working in this custom engine because it's just like all about the code. I think it really speaks to the fact that, like, some people are like, oh, I hate math so much. And it's like, well, okay, math as a general concept doesn't click for everyone. A lot of the time it's because it's just taught badly in schools. And I think it's very similar in to do with, like, programming. Like, how many schools even teach programming? I know none of my schools did. I had to, like, everything I've learned with code is mostly self-taught. So, did you catch that? Everything I've learned is mostly self-taught? Yeah. Anyway, my point being, math isn't going to click for everyone. Code isn't going to click for everyone. But give it a fair shot, because you might be surprised that it's like, oh, this is, like, maybe it's not math. Maybe it's visual scripting. Maybe it's, like, somewhere, you're going to fall somewhere on that spectrum between, like, this is your thing, or maybe it isn't. But don't ever let bad teaching be the thing that keeps you away from enjoying a subject.
Yeah, I think I did get good teaching, which is one bonus point, but in a weird way. Like, many years ago, I went to a Digipen summer camp. Digipen being a big
Yes,
school.
I know Digipen.
Yeah, entirely around game design. I went to a summer camp there, and technically the camp I went to was called game design. I think as a kid, I very quickly forgot the game design was in any way connected to it, and I just stuck with the small amount of programming they taught us, and, like, went off and made a Tron game while everyone was supposed to just, like, I think our assignment was just to, like, retexture this small shooter game and give it a storyline. Oh, that's a super easy round.
Speed run.
I was thinking I should try and get it so that the room doesn't fall too in line with the spawning room, but that
it's like one of the four corners or something. But that even makes it.
I didn't want it to be directly in the corners either.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I went for improving the game, I'd probably need, and, like, added more different rooms and more loot and stuff, I'd probably need to expand out the play area in a few different ways. Ooh, maybe some rooms give you, like, pointers and helpful directions.
Yeah, it could be that. You could even have multiple objective points on the map. Like, not only do you get bonuses for hitting certain points, but you have to hit multiple points on the map. So, like, there's always a reason to explore in different directions. Like, there really are a lot of ways you can take this if it tickles the design part of your brain. Because if you've already gotten the, like, code satisfaction out of this, then maybe it's time to move on to the next project. But I don't know. I hope there's enough here that's exciting that you want to keep on. Keep on with it.
I just realized that I haven't been. I'm just going to start writing all of these ideas down. I should have been doing that.
No worries, because check this out. I'm gonna show off. Like, I'll wrap up the interview first, and then I will show off my automatic highlight system. This whole interview and every other interview that I'm doing and have done will be created as a highlight that will stick around forever. So don't worry, you can always go back and watch the VOD. And I will show off that automation because I am a huge AutoHotkey nerd, and I've used that to write automations and custom scripts, and I don't think it works on Linux. Otherwise, I'd be totally saying like, "Hey, check this out." I think it's a Windows only thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've looked at AutoHotkey in the past. Admittedly, I think I'm on Linux because it's got a similar kind of automation. It's got a lot of customization tools, if you're willing to learn them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen the benefits of AutoHotkey and gotten a few of the same benefits in a different route.
That's awesome. Well, I think we're going to call it there. Stuin, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a lot of fun to talk through this.
I will actually, now I'm thinking about it, I will actually post a link to a different project, to my previous Game Jam project, where I got the lighting engine made, because I think that's another good example of how this engine works and just the kinds of projects I do with it.
Oh yeah, and if you have any other social media platforms or any other projects you want to mention, like feel free to link any other stuff.
Just these two, and I guess my GitHub, which have all been shown off. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of projects for. Let's see, I joined my high school robotics team in 2014. So.
Were you, by any chance, using Lego robotics, or was it like actual robotics?
Actual robotics, big, basketball field size.
Oh, okay, like First Robotics?
Yes, First Robotics.
Nice.
I was a lead scouting programmer. I didn't touch the robot itself, but...
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, awesome.
Sort of where I learned most of my programming skills in the beginning, and then kept having fun with it and branching out in different ways.
No, that's fantastic. I think it's really great that robotics gives people the opportunity to work on the very like practical, like close to the metal side of things, and then also it is one of the most real applications of software you will ever experience.
Certainly.
All right. Well, I'm sure we could just talk endlessly about all this fantastic stuff, but it is past 10, and I think I've got to wrap things up here for tonight. So thanks again for coming on
makes sense.
And talking about all this stuff. But
yeah, nice talking with you.
Yeah, and if you have any other
thanks
projects...
for all the thanks for all the advice. I'll certainly look through that and make a to-do list and put it somewhere. Sure. Maybe I'll get back to it next week. Maybe I'll wander back to it in a year.
Maybe it inspires a future Game Jam project. Who knows?
Yeah, or maybe it inspires a future game project.
Could be.
I've still got a few larger projects sitting around that I haven't worked on in a long time, but that are making progress slowly. Yeah. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, likewise.
Right.
Okay, bye for now. Okay. So,